The South Island's west coast, the Buller region, known for its coal mining and farming. There are also small gems such as the beautiful walkways at Charming Creek and near Seddonville, Chasm Creek. The Mokihinui River, or Mokinui as locals know it, is located here, about halfway between Westport and Karamea. Up in the headwaters of the Mokinui's large catchment, the north and south branches provide excellent opportunities for trout fishing. Neither the whitebaiting nor the trout fishing you currently enjoy will be lost through the Mokihinui Hydro Proposal. At times, the area is used for whitewater rafting, despite difficulties getting access to this backcountry. From here, at the Forks, the river runs 23 kilometres to the coast through the narrow and steep-sided Mokinui Gorge. Electricity to power the west coast needs to travel a long way every time you switch on a light, boil the jug or turn on the TV. And because of this, the cost of electricity on the west coast is high. This ball of light represents electricity leaving the Waitaki area power stations. It becomes smaller to indicate the energy lost while it travels up the South Island to Kikawa and back down to Waimangaroa substation. By the time it reaches the west coast, the ball has reduced in size. That's because the transmission route to the coast is the longest in the country, and at peak times as much as 50% of the energy is lost along the way. On the other hand, electricity generated at Mokinui would only need to travel 29 kilometres, meaning less power lost and fewer unplanned outages. An added benefit of the Mokinui power station would be that the electricity would enter the wholesale electricity market at lower prices. In turn, we hope these cost savings could be passed on to end users. We invite you now to look into the future and imagine how things could look should the Mokihinui Hydro Proposal become a reality. Travel in the future then 11 kilometres upriver and inland from the coast. Here you see people paddling across the new lake created by the Mokihinui Hydro Proposal. The stunning new lake is a sheltered haven used by locals and visitors alike as a playground, as well as to access the gorge and backcountry. Walkers, trampers and mountain bikers are making the most of the new or upgraded track, which runs 16 kilometres along the south side of the lake to the Mokinui Forks. Novices through to experienced trampers can decide how far they'll go. All the way along, though, hearing birdsong and surrounded by native bush. A boat ramp provides an easy launch pad to the water for exploring and fishing. New tourism ventures offer canoes and kayaks for hire. Water taxis and guides are ready to take you to discover the area which has opened up for you. No more 2-hour car trips to the nearest lakes, Brunner or Rotorua. You have a new lake and all its leisure opportunities on your doorstep and easily accessible. The new Mokinui track lets walkers, runners, hikers and bikers of all levels enjoy the lake surroundings. The track has been upgraded to allow more room for both pedestrians and mountain bikers. Families can use it too. Even those with small children may explore some of it. Some stop along the way to picnic at their favourite spot. Some spend a few hours there, others stay most of the day. And the more hardy stay overnight at the Forks. They're all enjoying the new access to an area they've wanted to get to go bush safely, to enjoy the sights and sounds of the spectacular area. The Buller region is steeped in history, with forestry and coal mining the most widely recognised. Back in the 1860s, the Mokinui Gorge became a hive of activity for around 60 years because of the gold in the surrounding hills. At the height of the mining, there were 30 gold mines in the area, with one operating until the 1940s. Gold mines reached back into the hills, and miners set up Pelton wheels to make use of the power of the river flow to drive the gold stampers. Those hardy folk of the mining years must be admired for their early efforts in this remote area. Road and bridge building, mining and setting up small settlements. Treasures from that colourful history have now been uncovered through the hydro development and are explained at stops along the track, so visitors can learn about the rich history of the area. While walking the track or boating on the lake, visitors can see the native birds, trees and plants. Blue duck numbers are on the increase, as are other bird species, thanks to the predator control program now in place. This protected habitat means people are more educated about our environment and enjoy getting into it. And that's not all.
Beyond the Mokihinui Forks waits a quintessential West Coast wilderness. At the height of gold fever, back in the 1880s, a road was begun, running from Lyle on the Buller River through this vast backcountry all the way to the Mokihinui River mouth. But the boom went bust, and the half-completed road was abandoned. This incredible country forgotten. Now, Meridian's commitment to reconstitute the old track through the Mokihinui Gorge creates the opportunity to finish that daring vision 130 years on, but with recreation replacing gold as the motivator. Enter the Mokihinui Lyle Backcountry Trust. Our mission is to take the baton from Meridian at the Forks and lead the creation of an iconic tramping and mountain biking track up the south branch of the Mokihinui, across the Lyle Saddle, then onwards and downwards to Lyle. The country traversed celebrates the essence of the wild West Coast. It needs and deserves more people to love it. The working title for the track is the Old Ghost Road. In 2007, West Coast bushman Steve Stack and I made the first of several explorations tracing the route of that old plan. The Lyle Cemetery at the beginning of the track certainly set the sense of history. Then the ghost towns of Gibbstown, Zalatown, and finally Seatonville surely added to the mystique. As luck would have it, that first stack and boat ride expedition emerged from the wilderness right at the front door of the Seatonville pub. As we told of our adventures, one of the locals broke in and asked, when you were up there, mate, did you feel the ghosts? Well, hell yes, I said. It felt like a stagecoach was going to come around the bend any second. He smiled and said, mate, it feels like that every time I go up there. Well, what an honor it is to follow in the footsteps of those old-timers. When the trust succeeds, generations of Kiwis will be listening for that stagecoach as they make their journey up the Old Ghost Road.
The need for new power generation sees Meridian once again commit to a renewable energy future. And the Mokihinui Hydro scheme would be built in a responsible and environmentally acceptable way. It would use one of the West Coast's most plentiful resources, its rainfall. Our story here focuses on the future and on restoring and providing access to the past, all possible through using the Mokihinui River to generate electricity, to enable a better future, economically, socially and environmentally for the West Coast.